and welcome to the first episode of Grilling is My Business. I'm Pat Gessner, and this is a cooking show for people who don't really know how to cook very well, but still like doing it from time to time, and also like listening to heavy metal while they do it. That tagline probably needs some work. I'll workshop that. So yeah, I figured I'd start a half-assed cooking show because here's the thing. I really do enjoy cooking, but I'm not particularly good at it. I don't know how to make fancy food. I'm terrible with measuring ingredients. I burn things, which is why I wanted to make a show that was entirely about making ridiculously simple recipes that you can make for pretty cheap. I figure that because we're going to be stuck inside all day anyway with everything going on in the world, might as well make it a little bit more productive. So my recipes are going to be incredibly simple to make, and I may actually try and do some things that I've never done before. Look, I bought a crock pot. Now, since this is the first time I'm going to try something like this, I wanted to do something that I know I can do very easily and explain as I go along. And it's also something that I make a lot, and it is ridiculously simple, which is why we're going to make beer can chicken. In order to make the perfect beer can chicken, you will need the following ingredients: a chicken, a can of beer, a spice rub. That's it. Now, I wanted to tie this show in with the Shred Shack stuff we normally do, which is heavy metal based. So I love listening to music while I cook, and I have a playlist that I've kept for the past couple of years. So I figured that every week I would come up with a couple of songs based on what I'm cooking, and I would add those to my playlist and share them with you guys. Now, for the first episode, I'm just really going to go for general and share some songs from a playlist that I've had that I love cooking with. This one won't be recipe based. It'll just be songs that I really love listening to while I cook. So let's start with AVANTASIA. AVANTASIA is fantastic to listen to when you know that you're going to be busy with some stuff, because some of their songs can stretch a pretty long time, and there's always something a little interesting in every one that they have out there. There's so much good music out there in all their albums. The Scarecrow is definitely my favorite, and I really think that the title track is my favorite AVANTASIA song. I love the violin intro, I love the pounding drums for it, and you know, you have all these different elements built into it. Landa's voice really adds a lot to this song. I love Tobias Sammet on his own in the AVANTASIA songs, but when he has really good guests, it really makes it great. So that's why I love this song, and I keep it on the background with pretty much everything that I do. So you want to get a chicken about this big, about somewhere between 4 and 5 pounds, and you want to make sure that it is a fryer or a roaster. You don't want to make it so that it's like separated or pre-cut, and you want to keep the skin on. It's going to be very important. If you're one of those people who cooks chicken without skin, you're going to lose a lot of the flavor on this. Just make sure it's nice and clean, and make sure you clean out the cavity too, because you're going to be putting some stuff in there. That sounds dirty, and it's only going to get worse. Probably the most important part of this is the rub, and there's a rub that you can find online that a lot of people use for all different types of grilling. It's called 4-3-2-1 rub. I got it right here. I will list the ingredients right here, because I will forget exactly which number goes to which, but it's just those 4 things. It's kosher salt, paprika, cayenne pepper, and a ton of brown sugar. So the best thing to do for this is to mix it all together. I like to keep it like in a Ziploc bag and just kind of shake it around every now and then to kind of get everything meshed together, and it should look something like this. So it's just kind of a nice looking rub, and it just sifts very easily through the fingers. Now, in terms of the beer, you can use any type of beer you want. I've actually seen people not use beer, and they've used other things like pineapple juice if they want to make like a fruity chicken, or they've actually suggest that you do canned wine. I did that once because my sister and my mom actually have to eat gluten-free. So if you know anybody who has celiac but still wants to enjoy some redneck-style cooking, get a can of Pinot Grigio and just shove it right up the chicken. And when I say shove it right up the chicken, that's actually exactly what I mean. So what you're going to do is you're going to take a beer, just in the can. You're going to pour out, they tell you to pour out half of it. Now, you save it and you drink it. You know, there's half a beer that you have for yourself. That just looks pathetic in this mug. I'm going to go get some more. Now, the whole idea behind beer can chicken is that you actually cook the chicken standing upright on the grill, and you use the beer can as a base. I actually found one of these things online that helps you out. It just kind of holds the can in place and makes sure the chicken doesn't slide around on the grill. I just think it's a lot easier. Also, a lot of places tell you that you could probably just put the chicken on the grill itself. I prefer to put it in a pan so that way you don't lose any of the flavor. And then you literally just have to take the chicken, as is, open up the bottom, and then put the beer right up the chicken cavity. And you'll see that it'll just end up right sliding here. Now, the reason why you do this is because the beer will actually evaporate up into the chicken as it's grilling, and it'll cook it from the inside and make it incredibly juicy. It's legitimately some of the best chicken I've ever had in my life. One of the things you can do to kind of flavorize this a little bit more is if you want to get a little bit more rub in there and you want to kind of make sure the wings are crispy, you need to just kind of take the wings and fold them back like this so it looks like the chicken is almost like assuming the position. They call this laid back chicken because it looks like the chicken is kind of going like this. Oh yeah, I'm enjoying myself. I'm a chicken. Then you're just going to take the rub and just sprinkle as much of this on you can as possible. Now, you want to get it into all the cavities, so you want to make sure you give it a generous rub. So you basically want the chicken to look like this. It's going to be coated pretty decently on both sides, hanging out there with the arms behind the head, and it's basically ready to go. And this is probably a good time to mention that this is a messy as hell meal to make, so wash your hands a lot in between each step. So, we've got the chicken, we've got the beer. Let's head on outside to the grill and put on some ENSIFERUM. I love listening to ENSIFERUM in general, but I think that, honestly, there's no more fun song they've ever come out with than Two of Spades. First of all, the whole song is heavy as hell, and it's just really fun to listen to. But more importantly, about halfway through the song, they just kind of abandon everything, and they just start playing like a disco track, and it sounds so weird, but so enjoyable. I love the song so much, and I find myself dancing to it every single time it's on, which is why I put it on my playlist. Alright, so on the grill when you cook this, the best way to do it is to do it through indirect heat. So basically you can leave two burners going and one of them open to put your meat on top of. And I think that this is just pretty self-explanatory. Take the meat, put it on there, close the lid, leave it on high, and just leave it there for an hour and a half. That's how you cook. Really, the hardest part about making this food is passing the time because you just literally set it down and let it cook for an hour and a half. So you just got to make sure that you got enough space to kind of enjoy yourself. I don't have much of a deck, but I make do. Got a lawn chair, got some beer. I've got this table that I stole from my neighbors when they were going to throw it out. And also, I've got actually two friends on the line right now who I am Zooming with. And they are grilling at the same time. We are taking the quarantine to a whole nother level, and we are literally multitasking a barbecue that only one of us gets to eat each part. So I'm making chicken, my friend is making brisket, and my other friend is making pulled pork. So we are really stretching the limits here on what fat people can do in a time of crisis. Well, screw it, since I got some time to talk, let's talk about Color Talk. Color Talk is such a weird band to enjoy. They have such a weird sound about them where they sound like they would belong in like a traditional punk scene, but they're a Norwegian band that really travels all over the place and gets all these different influences, and I still think that some of their earliest stuff is their best. I hope I'm pronouncing this right because I love this song, Utra de Svaka. I think is so much fun. The whole song is incredible, but I especially love halfway through it where the band kind of breaks down. They scream the name of their band and then just break off into this amazing jamming solo part that just kind of stretches on into the outro. I think it's a really cool song, and I just enjoy listening to it. I sneak it into a lot of playlists every now and then, even if it doesn't fit. I just enjoy listening to it a lot. How long has it been? 10 minutes. Cool.
1 hour later.
Alright, so it's been about 45 minutes, about half the cooking time, so let's just take a quick look at the chicken right now. You can already see some coloration in the top. Also, if you want to make sure the outside stays pretty moist and it gets enough juice, you can always add a little bit more beer into the tray. Only about half a can. You don't want to drown your chicken. You never want to overcook it and dry out the chicken, but when it's, basically filled with beer and it's just pumping juice into it, it's very hard to do. Always go safer than sorry with chicken, because if you undercook it, it's a fucking catastrophe. So in an update from before, I have a bit more shade in the backyard, and I have set up another chair as a footrest. So I'm not going anywhere for a while. In the meantime, let me talk about how much I friggin' love Irish rock when I'm cooking. Everybody knows their Dropkick Murphys and their Flogging Mollies when they love Irish music. I think O'Reilly and the Paddy hats are amazing. Paddy and the Rats are so underrated in terms of the songs that they put out, and I think Goes from the Barrow is probably their best. I remember hearing this after I actually got their last album, where I touted how much I love the song One Last Ale. And Goes from the Barrow is just such a brilliant song, and I absolutely love listening to it. Also, it's one of those songs where you can sing along with, dance along with, and not really lose yourself as you're cooking. So that's why it's definitely on this playlist. I never spend time out on this deck. I should do that more often.
Later that same evening.
Alright, so it's been about an hour and a half, so we're just going to check the chicken right now. Oh, that looks so good. It's so great when both sides look like this. I actually cooked on indirect heat, so naturally, because I had the chicken on one side of the grill, halfway through it, you're going to want to kind of flip it so that it makes it equally charred on both sides. One side is clearly a little bit more than the other, but whatever. The thing with chicken is sometimes it's hard to tell exactly when it's completely cooked. This is the best test for it. In the thickest part of the thigh, take a poker and just stab right into it. If the juice comes out clear, it means that the chicken is cooked. If it comes out white or red, it means that you need to cook it a little bit longer. So this chicken is completely cooked all the way through. So now comes the time where I have to take it off the grill and actually carve it, which I suck at and don't want filmed. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to take this off, and while I do this, you guys listen to Thin Lizzy.
Tonight there's gonna be a jailbreak, so don't you be around. Don't you be around.
The fact that Thin Lizzy is not in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is an absolute disgrace. And the fact that they didn't get in just for Jailbreak alone is a sign of it. Now, there's a lot of people who deserve to be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but I think Thin Lizzy is absolutely one of the bands that definitely deserves to be in there as an influence and as an artist. But I just love the song Jailbreak. I think it's legitimately my favorite classic rock song of all time. But even keeping that aside, there are so many elements to enjoy about this. I love the chorus. I love the guitar work on this. The riff alone makes this song so amazing. So, Jailbreak by Thin Lizzy is my favorite song to listen to while I'm cooking anything. Absolutely anything. So, that's why I keep it up there. I already said that I wasn't going to include me carving up the chicken, so I'm just going to cut to black now. Hope you guys don't hate that. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you the completed beer can chicken. Got the white meat on one plate, the dark meat and the skin and the wings on another. As you can tell from the white meat, clearly I had care and elegance when I cut this. This is why I cut away, because it's mostly just me picking pieces apart, throwing it on a table. But needless to say, it's time to actually try this. This is my favorite thing to make because I love chicken, but my least favorite thing about it is when you have white meat sometimes on chicken, it's very dry and a little bland. If you have beer can chicken, the beer and the spices evaporate into the chicken. The white meat is just as juicy as the dark meat usually is. It's fantastic. It's my favorite thing to make for a barbecue, for a get-together, anything. So that's why I wanted to make it first, because I wanted to make something that I knew that I could make very quickly, very easily. And I wanted to make sure that this show got kicked off right, because I wasn't going to start by making, pasta fagioli or something like that. So next time I'll be trying to actually cook something that I've never made before. But I wanted to start off with a base of something that I enjoyed regularly. So thank you guys for watching. I'll be back next time because apparently this quarantine isn't ending anytime soon. So till next time, grilling is my business and business is food.
Say goodbye. And I have.
Go away!